Welcome back, everybody. Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another video or podcast for those of you that are listening rather than watching the video on YouTube. That is right. We are officially uploading the YouTube videos onto podcasts as well. We're on all the major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that good stuff. So if you prefer to listen to audio and then maybe come back and, find different points in the video that you think would benefit you best, I definitely suggest you take a look at the podcast. I'll leave links to Spotify and Apple down below to the exact podcast so you all can subscribe to that and definitely leave a review. I know they won't let really anyone leave reviews until they listen to a few of the podcasts apparently, but if you would end up leaving us a review on there, I greatly appreciate it. It helps the podcast out big time. And in today's video, we're going to continue our series about Google Ads specifically. And I wanted to kind of just start off fresh for everybody. Simply just walk you through the basic steps of creating a Google ad. So this may seem very basic to some people, but to others, this may be, world changing essentially, because, there's so much within the Google Ads platform. It can be overwhelming to those that, just may have not been there before. And for those of you listening to the podcast, this may be one of those podcasts that, you're definitely going to want to go back and watch the video as well. I'll leave the link to the YouTube stream in the show notes of the podcast as well. And with that, we will just go ahead and hop right in. So first thing you're going to do, obviously, is you're going to log into your Google Ads platform, and you're going to see this overall home screen, essentially. Now, yours is going to be blank. You're not going to have, your last 14 days, last 7 days, anything like that showing, all these metrics in here. Yours is going to be blank overall, so it'll be very easy, to know where to get started, because all you're going to look for is that new campaign button. And from there, of course, we have a draft in there from where I was kind of doing this live on a live stream for you guys, but you're just going to hit new campaign. You're going to go in here and, sometimes it'll take it a moment to load. And then from here, you have all these different options. So you have sales, leads, website traffic, product and brand consideration, brand awareness, app promotion, local store visits, and create a campaign without a goals guidance. That is the one that we tend to pick the most, and that's what we're going to go with whenever it's asking what our objective is. So we're going to select create a campaign without a goals guidance. From there, they're going to ask you, okay, what type of campaign are you going to run? Are you running a search campaign showing up in Google search, performance matrix where you're kind of allowing Google to do all the hard, heavy lifting for you, a display ad, a shopping ad, a video ad? Say you have a YouTube video, that you're showing termites, or, you're showing a squirrel being caught in a trap, something like that. An app campaign, a smart campaign, which are the worst campaigns. I don't know why they call them smart. They're smart for Google, dumb for us. But smart campaign, and then discovery, which is, kind of like running ads on YouTube, Gmail, all that type of stuff. We are going to go with the search ad specifically. And then from there, we select our conversions. Of course, and these are the conversions that you're going to want Google to track. That way, not just how many clicks you're getting, all of that, but you're also going to figure out, where certain phone calls came from. Did they submit lead forms? You can see here we have ours are, quote unquote unverified. We're still in the process of getting that all straightened out with our website host. But you want to have at least those three. You want to have contacts, which is going to be like contact forms and stuff like that. Phone calls, which is usually pretty straightforward. Google will mostly do that for you. But of course, if you have an app like CallRail, you're going to want to set this up here as well. And then, of course, submit lead forms. That's going to be on your website as well, where you're actually going to get a conversion on there anytime somebody submits a form that they saw on the landing page, of course. So you have all that set up, and then you can put in values and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, we'll hit continue. And then it says select the results you want to get from this campaign. So do you want phone calls, app downloads, or website visits? So we want website visits and we want phone calls. So from there, it's saying, okay, what is, the website visits? Like, what is the website, the business website that you're going to want to have your customers land on? So like it says here, this step helps customize your campaign setup to focus on settings and features that can help you get the customer actions that matter most to your business. So from there, you would enter, whatever website that you want to put in. I'm going to leave it blank just to keep this, shorter than normal, having to go through, pasting in my link and all of that. But you just paste your link in there. And then phone calls, we can just go ahead and use our main business cell phone number because we're not going to use this ad or anything. So we'll type that in there. And then for the campaign name, like I said, you want to make these campaign names stick out. That way you can remember, if you start running 2, 3, 4, 5 different type of ads, you definitely want to, a good campaign name that's going to stick out that you remember whenever you load up your campaigns. So let's just say, for example, we're going to name this one Mosquito 23. So Mosquito Season 2023, essentially. So we'll go ahead and we'll go forward with that. So we don't need to worry about that. We'll start new. And then from here, this is where a lot of people, can start to get kind of lost here. So when it says bidding, it says, what do you want to focus on? Of course, you think conversion value, that's going to be the best. However, paying cost per click is what we tend to do most. It's what a lot of marketers really even suggest as well. It's what most marketing agencies will actually do whenever you're running an ad campaign with them. They'll run pay-per-click campaigns. And then from there, you can set a maximum cost per click bid limit. I suggest entering that based on what you think your company is going to be able to afford. And not just that, but what you are willing to pay for a click. Like us, for example, I don't see the value of paying, say, $70 per click. But I do see the value in paying about $40 to $50 per click. So let's say we're going to enter this at $40 per click. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit next. And then from here, you can see they're trying to get you here. So it's saying, okay, we know you want to show up in Google search, but do you also want to show up in our search network and display network? So you can see here it says include Google search partners, not just Google. We don't want that. We want to show up on Google search only. That's all that we want to pay for. So we're going to take that off, and we're also going to take the display network off. We want to show up within Google search only. We want our ad to show up when people are typing in, pest control, mosquito control near me for this specific ad that we're, setting up. So we're going to go ahead and take that off. And then from here, you select your locations. So what we would do is we're going to enter locations, and we'll just make this kind of sweet, short and sweet. I'll go ahead and just put in like a couple of like local cities in my area, or suburbs, I should say. Let's see, we'll do Rockwall, Texas, Saxe, Texas. What else? Wiley, Texas. Let's try to get one or two more in here. We'll go ahead and do Murphy, Texas. And let's go ahead and do Garland, Texas as well. So we'll go ahead and put those in there. I would put a lot more in here if I wasn't trying to speed this up for you guys. This isn't an ad that I'm going to run or anything. Just doing this for, educational purposes for you guys. Which, by the way, if you're liking the video, you're liking the podcast so far, do us a favor, if you're on the podcast, give the podcast a thumbs up. And if you're on YouTube, of course, hit that thumbs up button as well. If you're not, let me know. Hit the thumbs down, give me a bad comment, whatever the case may be. From there, we will go into targeting. So it's going to say, who do you want to target? Presence or interest? People in or regularly in or have shown interest in your locations. Or presence? People in or regularly in your target locations. Or search interest? People searching for your targeted locations. So this can get kind of tricky. I, for the most part, have had the most success just doing presence or interest. So that means people are regularly in these areas, Wiley, Texas, Saxe, Texas, etc., are locations that we put in. It means they're regularly in there, or they show interest in these targeted locations. So if you got kind of the best of both worlds there, they're in those locations, they tend to search for those locations, they're typing in plumber in Saxe or electrician in Saxe, those type of searches. They're probably going to be looking for pest control Saxe as well, or if they type in pest control near me, they probably live in Saxe. So you're just increasing your odds, where if you're doing just one or the other, it could be a double-edged sword. If you're doing just presence only, that could be somebody that just happens to work in Saxe, Texas, who's typing in, pest control. They see your ad, immediately call you, but they may live, in, let's just say, Capel, Texas, which is, about 40 minutes to the west, and you may not even want that, but since they were in that area, now you're getting charged for that call, that click. And then same thing kind of with search interest. Search interest probably isn't too bad, because, they're going to be searching, pest control, Saxe, things around that for, Saxe, Texas example. However, you're not going to get the people specifically that are in that location. So like I said, this is kind of happy medium, best of both worlds, which makes sense. It's the recommended option there. I usually leave that as is. And then for excluding people, like you can see here, by default, your ads can show to people in or regularly in or have shown interest in your targeted locations, yada, yada, yada. Alternatively, you can use other location options to limit the location types you target. So by doing that, it's saying presence, people in your excluded locations. So of course, we're going to leave that as is because we're going to have a list of areas that we do not want our ad to show in as well. So we leave that as is. From there, of course, if you speak Spanish or anything, you can add in that, hey, we speak Spanish, show this to Spanish-speaking people as well. We leave ours as English, of course. From there, you can enter in audience segments. Google will usually do a pretty good job. This is where Google has improved quite a bit. They didn't really used to have a lot of pest control related stuff in here. It was all like home and garden. Now they have pest control services in there. I also like to put business services in there as well. I used to put home inspection services, but that was primarily a waste of time in all honesty. Those are the two that we tend to put the most, and then we also go ahead and put homeowners in there as well, because of course we love to target homeowners. And then from there, you can set your targeting settings for this campaign based on your specific targeting or observation. I believe, if I recall, we will go ahead and leave it as observation, as saying don't narrow the reach of your campaign, with the option to adjust bids on the selected segments. So we usually leave that as is primarily. We've done it with targeting specifically in the past. Didn't really notice a huge change in all honesty. It says that it can limit you if you do this, but like I said, we didn't really notice a huge difference. So whichever way you want to go on that, you can. You may want to test it out with a couple ads with observation, the other with targeting specifically, whatever the case may be. And then from there, you can do created assets. This is slightly new. You can see here it even says beta. If you turn it on, use my content from my landing page, domain, and ads in combination with assets I provide. I usually leave this off. So what it's going to be doing essentially is it's going to take headings from your landing page and use it to create the searches, the actual link that people see, like your $50 off pest control or whatever, your main ad is going to be that you want people to see on Google search. It's going to take your heading. So say your heading says, we'll just say best mosquito service. Well, you may not want best mosquito service as one of your, headings there, especially if it's not, for whatever reason, that's probably going to be a great ad to begin with, but especially if it's not even about a mosquito service. So I just like to leave this off. I like putting in my own specific, ad headings in there, but that's just me. From there, you can go in here to more settings. This is where you're going to put in your start date, end date. If you want to do an end date, we usually leave our ads running continuously, meaning that, there's no specific end date like March 31st, April 1st, anything like that. We will go in there and shut it off manually if we decide to do so. From there, you have ad schedule. So this is where you're really going to want to play with this. So what I like to do is I always like to start with, Monday through Thursday, Monday through Wednesday, Monday through Thursday. And then I usually like to set mine somewhere around 9 to 10 a.m. We've been running ads. If you watched our live stream recently, you saw we've been running an ad at pretty much open right around 7:30, 8 a.m. And pretty much every single day we had no clicks practically until at least 10 a.m. So I'm starting to run these around 9:30. So we run that at 9:30 a.m. And then let's say we're going to go ahead and run it until about, we'll just say 6:30 p.m. essentially. So that's about a 9-hour a day. And then you just go in here and simply do that for, any days that you're wanting to run this ad. So again, we go in here, we'll do 9:30. We'll do 9:30 again for Wednesday. And we're going to say we're just going to run this ad 3 days a week, which by the way, if you're running an ad 3 days a week, I suggest early on you should be checking it at least 2 times a week. And then from there, once a week will be, plenty. You don't necessarily need to be checking it hour by hour or anything like that. You don't, it's just overkill. at the end of the day. So with that, we have that in there. There's more settings again, ad rotation, all of that stuff. We're not going to mess with any of this right now just because it's not necessary. Like we said, we already know start date, end date. Start date's today, end date whenever we wish. Campaign URL options, we're not worried about that. And then from here, you have your keywords. So this is where you really are going to want to pay attention to this video specifically. So when you're entering in keywords, you can see down here at the bottom, broad match would mean you're simply just typing in a specific word with no parentheses, no brackets, anything like that whatsoever. If you put parentheses in, that's going to be phrase match, and if you use brackets, that's going to be exact match. I personally like to use exact match only, especially very early on, so it'll speed up the process of Google learning my ad. And I definitely suggest you guys do that as well. So again, this is a mosquito ad. So let's say, we're going to put a bracket in here and we'll type in mosquito service and then another bracket, and then we'll do open bracket, mosquito service near me, end bracket, and then we'll do best mosquito company, end bracket. And then we'll just do one more. We'll just say best mosquito control near me, in bracket. And again, you don't need to overdo it with keywords, guys. In all honesty, a lot of times you really only need anywhere between 2 to 10 keywords. Obviously 2 is probably going to be a little bit on the low end. I would suggest probably somewhere around 5 keywords, especially when you're doing these exact matches. You can see here, this is telling us your average cost per click is going to be around $23, $24 per click. Of course, the more that you put in there, the higher your overall amount of clicks are going to be, as well as your cost per click is going to go down. From here, you're going to put in, all your information, such as, the final URL, the display path, the phone number that you want people to call. So you could go ahead and, add that in there if you wish. Don't know what it's doing right now. Yeah, let's just say we want to use this number, for example. So we can apply it. So you can add the phone number in there. That way, when people see the ad, they actually see, boom, we can call this business right here, right now. Definitely suggest adding that. And then from there, you can literally take and use some of these. It says for optimal performance, include these keywords in your headlines. So let's just go ahead and, make it short and sweet. Best mosquito control. Near me. Next headline, we'll do mosquito control company. And then we'll do mosquito control service. All right, so we got a few headlines there. And again, these aren't even good ones either. This is just me, kind of going through, working through it for you. You can see, though, we do already have our campaign optimization right around the target, somewhere around 70%. And again, I can't stress it enough, campaign optimization scores are shit. Like, it's a load of crap. Like, don't aim for that to be 90 to 100%. Otherwise, your ad really isn't even going to perform that great. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. Usually, mine, in all honesty, usually run around 60 to 80%, essentially. I think right now my best performing ad, the main one that we're running, is at like 68. So, you could make little tweaks and always make it better, but, you're going to find that sweet spot at the end of the day. So for description, we'll just put in, get your first mosquito service for just $49, just something random, and then we'll put get your instant price here. All right, so you can see our average cost per click, it's gone up a little bit. It's at $26 now, probably because this isn't the most optimized ad or anything. So let's just say we're not even going to worry about adding images, site links. Site links are very good. I do like adding site links. All that a site link is essentially is Say you were running a generic ad like pest control service, which is one that we're running, and then within that, you know that a lot of people are searching for carpenter ant services, termite services, commercial services. You can go in there and add your specific service page to this ad. It's kind of, awesome really, from the sense that you're able to get more out of your ad. You're essentially being able to advertise, 4 or 5 links within one ad essentially. So definitely suggest doing those. We're not going to do that for the sake of timing in this video, but it's very simple. You just hit add, and then it would ask you what link. You paste your link in there, and then you're good to go. So let's just say that right here we're done for now with this. From there, it gives you an average budget recommendation saying, we should aim for right around 59 to 60 bucks a day. This is saying that, of course it's saying only 1 weekly click, because why? We only put 4, suburbs in the area, so our population isn't as large as, it normally would be. Let's just say for the sake of this video, we're gonna run $100 a day. You can see here our weekly clicks actually did not change, so it may just be the fact that I did not put a very high population in here, on top of the fact that I didn't put very many keywords. Let's see, low traffic expected, targeting settings. Yeah, so that's gonna mess with it a little bit here. Let me see if I can go in here and edit this for you guys. So let's see, it's saying low traffic expected, check your campaign targeting settings to fix this. So that would actually be within our campaign settings. If we scroll down here, that's just saying, let's go ahead and add some more locations. So let's just, for the sake of this ad in this video and podcast, let's add a couple quick locations real quick. We'll throw in Plano, Texas in there. We'll throw in, what else? Who else do we want to add in here? Bigger city, McKinney, Texas. We'll throw them in there. Let's go ahead and throw Dallas in there as well. And then from here, we'll scroll down. Let's see, do we leave anything out? So homeowners, business services, home and garden. We'll go ahead and put renters in here as well. And then let's see, do we want to do targeting? Or no, sorry about that. We'll leave that at observation. And then let's see, keywords. We'll go into keywords and we'll add just a couple more. Like I said, you usually want to be at least around 5. If you're only putting like 2 to 3, or in our case even 4, and really we only got like 2 in here. You can see we reuse some of the words because this is a mosquito ad, which, by the way, don't run mosquito ads. Run a general pest control and then add the mosquito as a site link. Pro tip there for you all. But from there, let's just say we wanted to also do, pest control near me. Kind of make this a little more friendly for the algorithm. Let's see, we'll add another one. So look at that. Just by adding pest control near me, boom, we're up to 39 clicks. So literally, guys, 5, for the most part tends to be the magic number. That took us from 1 weekly click to 39 clicks per week. From there, we can go in here to the budget and start playing around with it. Let's say you have a very limited budget, which, by the way, I think you guys need to plan on setting a bare minimum budget of $25 a day. If you don't have $25 a day to run on your ad, you're just not ready for advertising, if I'm going to be honest, which is okay. I mean, I just started running Google Ads, really vamped it up this year. Last year, we ran a few campaigns here and there for about $500 to $1,000 here and there. But this year was the first year that we really have enough surplus to make it worth it, where we're spending $50 to $100 a day running Google Ads. You can even see here it's telling us selecting a budget less than $59.60 may prevent your ads from showing as often as they could. But with that being said, showing us here with a ad spend of $25 a day, you could estimate maybe right around 15 to 16 clicks. Average cost per click, you see how it dropped to $10.70? They're openly admitting to you, we're going to give you shit quality clicks because your budget sucks. Where if we just double that to $50 a day, watch this. Watch how much everything changes here. And by the way, we're still almost $10 below what they are suggesting within this, ad. If this thing will load here, Let's see. Come on now. It's like you can't keep up with us. So if you run what they suggested, just while that's loading, $59.60, look at that, your average cost per click is now $16.03, so your average cost per click is up 60%. You're getting 10 more clicks a week. Obviously, everything is up across the board. However, you're getting a much more quality click. Now, $16 per click still is not that high. I could probably make a few tweaks to this, and within the keywords and the other settings and stuff like that. Like I said, we're just walking you through kind of the basics with this video specifically, but that just gives you an idea on you still get what you pay for with these ads. So in my opinion, you need to have at least $25 to $50 a day at the minimum, and that, again, think about it, guys. If you're running an ad at $50 a day 3 days a week, that's $150 a week. So that's the other thing you need to take into consideration as well. You need to take into consideration, okay, yeah, I'm shelling out $50 a day, but I'm only running this ad Monday through Wednesday or Tuesday through Thursday or whatever the case may be. And $150 a week is only about $600 a month. So if that $600 a month can get me, let's see, it's saying around 25 clicks times 4 weeks, that's 100 clicks. Let's say you get a 5% conversion rate, which isn't even that high. The 5% conversion rate would be 5 new customers a month. Let's say the average contract value is, we'll just say $500 for easy numbers, $2,500. You just turn $600 into $2,500. And that's just, quick math. Obviously, there's a bunch of other factors. Conversion rate could be much higher. You could be looking at 10 to 15% conversion rate, and the numbers just doubled or tripled. You're talking 5,000 to 7,500, or say you get a couple people, because this is a mosquito ad. Let's say they go ahead and you get a couple home runs with termite, which happens, by the way. We have multiple termite leads out right now that found us from a general pest control ad. Say they need exclusion, it's all about getting in front of the customer and then just presenting what you have to offer. We don't need to be snake oil salesmen or anything. If we see a need, it's our job to point out that need to the customer and upsell it from there. It helps us, it helps the customer, and everybody's happy at the end of the day. So get off my soapbox there. Whole point being, you need to be able to invest in your business. If you can't, if you're not confident within your skills and you're like, I don't want to waste my money, spend time listening to guys like me and other guys out here that are willing to invest time, energy into you from our experiences to show you how to do this the right way. That way you're not just pissing $10, $20 away, because if you need that $10 to $20 a day that bad, you don't need to be pissing it away. You should just be, if nothing else, setting it aside in a savings account and then, run that bad boy, maybe a few months down the road, once you have $1,000 saved up, run an ad for a month and see how it goes. So as you can see, it's saying that, we need to add some more keywords. The bidding isn't a big deal. Obviously, we're in the review right now. It's saying fix your ad. Your ad has issues that will prevent it from showing on Google. That's, let's pull it up here. So it's saying that, let's see here, best mosquito control. What's wrong with this? Let's see. Oh, we didn't add a final URL. So the final URL, you would just add in there, your URL. Essentially, it's not rocket science. But you'd add that in there, you'd hit submit, and then you're off and running. You can see the campaign scores around 71.25%. Again, do not copy this ad. This is not like a great ad or anything like that. This is just a basic walkthrough on how you would walk yourself through creating a Google ad. I can't stress enough, the most important thing you should take away from this video is how to set up your keywords. It'll make adding your negative keywords so much quicker and easier, because you're giving Google a very strict constriction on, hey, what searches you're wanting to show up under. Yes, it's going to cause your price of cost per click to go up. However, you're going to be getting much better quality clicks. So don't fall for their bullshit when they try to say down here, add more keywords. That's going to add 11.9% to your campaign optimization. Woohoo! We got 83% campaign optimization, but I'm going to be getting shit clicks. Like, no thank you. Cannot stress that enough. Start out with exact matches with the brackets, as you all see here on YouTube, and just kind of go from there. It'll speed the process up. Instead of it taking 2 to 4 weeks for Google to start to learn your ad. It'll only take about 5 to 10 days, depending on, of course, again, how many days you're running the ad. If you're only running it 2 or 3 days a week, yeah, it's probably going to take 2 weeks still, maybe even 3. But if you're running it 4 or 5 days a week, like most of us are, then, it's only going to take a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before you and Google really start gelling on that specific ad, assuming that, you have a quality ad, quality landing page, and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys did learn some good things from this video, or if you're listening on the podcast from this podcast, if you did, definitely make sure to hit that thumbs up button for those of you on YouTube. I greatly appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, new to the podcast, definitely consider following and subscribing below. And last but not least, our goal is to get to 1,000 Twitter followers. We're wanting to get to 1,000 TikTok followers, because once we get to 1,000 TikTok followers, we will be able to go live on TikTok. And I've been hearing a lot lately that a lot of people are more into the TikTok lives, especially from the Q&A perspective. If you're new to the channel, we do a lot of live Q&A, specifically on the weekends when I know everybody's off of their main job and able to dive in and just answer a bunch of your Q&As. And that'll even, help a lot of you all listening to the podcast as well. So if you're not already following me on TikTok, I'll leave that in the show notes of the podcast, in the description box of this YouTube video. And if you want to just look it up personally, it's at Griffin Thomas MFCEO, just like on, the YouTube channel as well. But with that, like I said, hopefully you guys did learn some things today. If you did, definitely subscribe, follow, and if you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to me directly, either on the YouTube channel and our free Discord group chat, whatever works best for you. And if you have a pest control business specifically, of course, we have that free Facebook group that we just started here about a month ago, that I know we keep having more and more of you join that every single day, so it's awesome to see that continue to grow as well. But until next time, guys, keep on hustling, keep on getting the life that you and your family deserve with financial freedom this year, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast and YouTube video. Take it easy, everybody.